Imagine this, a man who cannot read, a man who cannot write. He stands before the greatest poets in Arabia and recites words unlike anything they have ever heard. Those words would change history forever. The question is, could Prophet Muhammad have written the Qur'an himself? Millions ask this question. But instead of answering with emotions, let's examine the evidence. Before receiving revelation, Muhammad lived among his people for 40 years. Everyone knew him. Friends and enemies alike called him Al-Amin, the trustworthy, and As-Sadiq, the truthful. He settled disputes, protected people's property, never claimed to be a prophet, never claimed to possess hidden knowledge. Then everything changed. At the age of 40, while worshipping alone in the cave of Hira, he received the first revelation. From that day onward, his life became harder, not easier. His own tribe mocked him. They called him a liar, a poet, even a magician. They boycotted him and his family until they suffered hunger. He was insulted in public. Stones were thrown at him until his sandals filled with blood. He buried children, lost his beloved wife Khadijah, lost his uncle Abu Talib. Yet despite every hardship, he never abandoned his message. Now ask yourself honestly, if someone invents a religion, what do they usually want? Money? Power? Fame? Muhammad was offered all of these. The leaders of Makkah promised wealth beyond imagination, leadership over the Arabs, anything he wanted. They asked only one thing: stop preaching Islam. His answer was unforgettable. Even if they placed the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left, I would never abandon this message until Allah makes it prevail or I die conveying it. Does that sound like someone chasing worldly gain? Or someone convinced he was delivering the truth? Then there is the Qur'an itself. Allah challenges humanity in Surah Al-Baqarah. If you doubt this book, produce even one chapter like it. That challenge still stands today. Not for 1 year, not for 1 century, but for more than 1400 years. No one has produced a book accepted as equal to the Qur'an in its language, message, and unique style. And the evidence becomes even stronger. Let's continue. Many people think the Qur'an was simply Muhammad's own words. But there's a problem with that idea. The Qur'an does something no author normally does. It openly corrects the very man who delivered it. On several occasions, Allah corrected Prophet Muhammad through revelation. If he were writing the Qur'an himself, why would he include verses that criticized his own decisions? Human beings naturally defend themselves. The Qur'an never hides the truth. Instead, it reminds Muhammad again and again, you are only a messenger. He was never told to ask people to worship him. He never claimed to be divine. He constantly directed people to worship Allah alone. Now think about the Qur'an itself. It was not revealed in a single day. It came over 23 years, during peace, during war, during victory, during loss, during happiness, and during grief. Yet from beginning to end, its message remains consistent. One God, justice, mercy, responsibility, the day of judgment. No contradictions in its core message, despite being revealed across 2 decades in completely different circumstances. Then ask another question. If Muhammad invented the Qur'an, how did he know things no one around him could have taught him? The Qur'an contains detailed accounts of earlier prophets, moral lessons and profound reflections that continue to inspire people across cultures and generations. Most importantly, it repeatedly tells people not to follow blindly. Instead, it invites them to think, reflect, observe, and use their reason. Allah repeatedly asks, will you not reflect? Will you not understand? That is not the language of someone trying to deceive people. It is the language of someone calling humanity to examine the truth for themselves. For more than 14 centuries, millions of people have accepted Islam after reading the very same Qur'an, not because they were forced, but because they became convinced that its message could not be the work of an ordinary human being. In the end, everyone must decide for themselves. But before rejecting the Qur'an, ask yourself one honest question. Have I actually read it with an open heart? Because you cannot fairly judge a book you have never sincerely explored. May Allah open our hearts to His guidance, increase us in beneficial knowledge, make the Qur'an the light of our hearts, and allow us to live and die upon the truth. Ameen. If this reminder benefited you, share it with someone sincerely searching for the truth. And tell me in the comments, what topic should we explore next? Follow for more authentic Islamic reminders based on the Quran and the authentic Sunnah.